We're just going to take a little journey on Route 66.
All right.
Thank you. I feel good for 53.
All
supposed to feel like I feel good, although the same kind of stuff that's going around. I wanted to call in sick this morning, but so I'm glad to be here with each and every one of you in this new year.
Yes.
2014, a brand new year.
Yes.
A brand new opportunity to gather together in this place, but more importantly, to live our lives in powerful ways. And so our theme for the month is Big Leaping into 2014.
All right.
Big Leaping into 2014. Many of you, or some of you remember that maybe a couple of years ago, we used the book by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap. And it's about conquering your hidden fears and all of that so that you're able to reach success. And so this month I thought that I'd like to use that book and use it as inspiration for our focus and for our theme for the month, because it indeed is a powerful book. And as I think about, the last year, the past year, and all that has happened in that year, and the things that continue to take place, I thought how appropriate this would be, because after all, how many of you watch shows on television like Unsung and Behind the Music and those kinds of things, and what you see there are celebrities and entertainers and athletes and other people who seem to be at the pinnacle of their success. They seem to have it all. They seem to have things going for them and everything working right. And then all of a sudden, they do something. They get arrested for drugs, or you got somebody, I accidentally clicked on a link the other day and saw where Dwayne Wade's other baby mama, not Gabrielle Union, but the other one, was talking all the stuff that was happening with them. And you see it with people who have so much going for them, and all of a sudden they get in trouble and those kinds of things. And you think, why would they mess all that up? They had so much going for them, and yet they do something that seems to be stupid. Something that seems to be crazy, something that seems to be self-sabotage. But the question we really need to ask is not about them. What about us? When we get, almost to that place, that moment of success, almost there. And then it's something like, I remember years ago when I was in a music competition back in high school when I was playing the band, and we were sitting in the room and we were listening to one another play, and there was one girl who was a part of our band who was playing a solo, and all of a sudden in the middle of her solo, she yelled out, "I can't do this," and she ran out of the room and went out in the hallway and broke down in tears, and everybody went to console her, but she just kept telling herself, even after playing a brilliant solo in the middle, she did that. And I think about how in our own lives we get that place, we get there, we have that happen for us. We see ourselves almost there. Just as soon as we're almost there, something seems to grab us and pull us back. And Gay Hendricks calls that something. He calls that an upper limit problem. ULP, an upper limit problem. And I think that a lot of us find ourselves hitting our upper limit because, after all, something happens to many of us. Many of us find ourselves feeling as if we can only experience so much good. We can only experience so much good. I have a friend I praise every time she says it. She'll go on and she'll start talking about how things may happen in her life and if I ever won the lottery. But then she comes back and says, "But I know the Lord won't let me." If something good is happening to her, instead of being happy and excited about that good, she gets worried. Because she says, "I know this isn't going to last long. Something's going to happen. God's going to punish me somehow," or something like that. An upper limit problem. And the thing of it is that in our lives, oftentimes we find ourselves hitting that upper limit. That something says to us, we can't experience as much good as we ought to, because there's something that we're battling against. There are messages and there are things that we have experienced over the years that are telling us that you can't do this, that are telling us that you don't have what it takes, that are telling us that we are not all that we think we are, that you ain't all that. And so I think it's important for us to examine this month and to look at our upper limit problem and how it keeps us from having unlimited success. Because the thing, after all, is I know that a big portion of what we look for, the big portion of what we hope for, is to be able to experience success, right?
Yes.
To be able to experience joy, right?
Yes.
To be able to experience great health, right?
Yes.
To be able to experience wonderful relationships.
Yes.
All of those things that we desire, and at the beginning of the year, what better time when many people make their New Year's resolutions or set their goals or whatever it is, because you know, this week will be the week that the gym will be packed. Because all of us who said we're going to lose weight, we're going to do better in 2014, to eat better and exercise and walk and look beautiful and run and lift weights and you know, all of those kinds of things there. All of us are going to be in the gym this week and next week and then maybe 3 weeks later. Good luck. Or those of us who said, I'm going to do better, I'm going to act better, I'm going to be more loving to my neighbor, more loving to my friends, more loving to my family, and then somebody says the wrong thing to us and it goes out the door. But this month, we're going to find the key to beating that upper limit problem. And so I've got 4 questions that I want you to ask yourselves. These are starter questions. The first question, am I willing to increase the amount of time I feel good? Am I willing to increase the amount of time I feel good? Am I willing? Ask yourself, am I willing to increase the amount of time I feel good? I mean, we all love to feel good, but sometimes there seems to be a limit. Am I willing to increase the amount of time that my whole life goes well? Am I willing to increase the amount of time that my whole life goes well? Because what some people will say is, well, I got this going well, I got a good relationship, but my finances are messed up. I got good finances, but my relationships are messed up. My health is bad, but my relationship and my finances are good. Or my spiritual life is going okay, but my finances, all of those kinds of things. But our whole life, every aspect of it, go well. How willing are we to allow our whole life to go well? And then, am I willing to feel good and have my life go well all the time? Easier said than done.
Yes.
Easier said than done. Am I willing to feel good and have my life go well all the time? Am I willing to feel good and have my life go well all the time? And then the 4th question, am I willing to take the big leap to my ultimate level of success in love, money, and creative contribution? Am I willing to take the big leap to my ultimate level of success in love, money, and creative contribution? And note that we say at that last part, creative contribution, because ultimately, we're not just talking about ourselves, but if you remember the daily meditation, it talked about the fact that I inspire others to do the same. So this is not just about me, my, and I, and how much we can get for ourselves, but it's also about how we can inspire other people and motivate other people to also break that upper limit problem and shatter the ceiling and move beyond that movement to what it is. And it's something that's important. The first thing that Fritz Perls says is fear is excitement without breath. Fear is excitement without breath. So a part of approaching this is we have to remember to breathe.
Yes.
Remember to breathe. Remembering to breathe is important. What I mean by that is that oftentimes we get so caught up in stuff, and if you think about it, when we become fearful and frightened of things, we hold our breath. We're there and we hold our breath and we get anxious and we get all those things. And sometimes just remembering to breathe brings room into the situation. It brings room into the perspective. It brings room into whatever the situation and the circumstance is. And once we begin to do that, we can begin to see that there is always a way. Spirit always has a way. God always has a way. The universe always has a way. And when we remember to breathe, it brings us back in touch with that. It brings us back in touch with our creative potential. But it's important. It's important that we remember to breathe. And it's a part of that breathing, something that I want you to do every day this week for 5 minutes. And that is, maybe we better start at 2 minutes. And work up to 5. And to just spend 2 minutes feeling good.
Yes.
Whatever it is that makes you feel good, whatever thought, whatever memory, whatever sensation, whatever it is, just take that time to feel good. Because one of the things that I have discovered with my own spiritual growth and journey is that a little bit at a time makes a whole world of difference. Because see, if you talk about, well, I'm going to, change my life and I'm going to be different and I'm going to be this and that, what happens so often is because it's such an ingrained pattern, a deeply rooted pattern in our lives, it's difficult to change it all at once. You have to do a little bit at a time. See, that's the difference between crap and crop. Crap is that stuff that pops up momentarily, this or that. But crop is something that's deeply rooted. It's something that, we've been dealing with oftentimes, when we were, growing up and people, said stuff like us, like, who do you think you are? And you're never going to amount to anything. And where do you think you're going? And nobody in your family has done anything like that. Nobody you know or anybody that looks like you has achieved those kinds of things. All of that stuff is deeply rooted. And it's not something that's just going to just change overnight. It's something that we have to little by little, using the creative power of intent. We set the intention, we use it daily. And so 2 minutes a day, if you can get up to 5 minutes, great. Set a timer on your phone. Look at the clock, do something, but be serious about it. Don't just say, well, it sounded good. And when we were there, we sang all those good songs, and we had a good time at Open Heart today. I saw people that I love to see every time, and I love to see and all of that, and it sounded good. But take the time to do this. Do this for yourself. Do this for you. And just take those moments and feel good. Because what's going to happen is that as soon as you start to take the time to feel good, there's going to be that nagging little voice. It's going to say, what are you doing? This stuff don't work. This stuff ain't, Gilmore got you doing stuff. He don't know your life. He don't understand where you're coming from. He don't understand what you're dealing with. And no, I don't on one level. On the other level, I do. And the thing of it is that when we continue to do it a bit at a time, when we continue to breathe, when we continue to allow ourselves to feel good, we build on that. And when we build on that, then that process becomes ingrained in us, and we can start to have new habits. As Emmett Fox talked about the golden key, where he describes that whenever we're having thoughts that we don't want to have and all of those things, replace those with thoughts of God. It's about, we were talking about this week, about when you're trying to do or change something, you've got to have something to replace it. Because if you just have a void there, then anything can rush in and fill it. But when you are intentional about what it is that you are doing, when you say, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to practice thoughts of feeling good, I'm going to practice the presence, I'm going to focus on my breath, I'm going to allow all that is within me to begin to come forth, I am going to. And this is so important as we move through this, and I know preachers say this all the time, and then I'm finished. But this is really important, that in the midst of all that you do this week, begin little by little to not attach meaning to things. Not attach meaning to things. Let it be because it is. Because see, what happens is we can look at things and look at people and look at circumstances and we automatically attach meaning. It's like the teaching that I'm dealing with, the teacher that I'm dealing with right now, he gives the story of a little boy who sees a girl that he likes, and she's there with a couple of her friends, and he starts walking toward them, and they see him approaching, and they start giggling, they start laughing. And the thing that he automatically begins to think is that they're laughing at him. So rather than going on and approaching the young lady that he was interested in, he keeps walking. Never to find out whether or not it was true, whether they were laughing at him, whether they were laughing at what he didn't know. But he had attached meaning to it. That was his upper limit. And so what I'm saying today is that when we learn to be in the moment and not attach meaning, but just let it be, when we just allow ourselves to feel good for no other reason than to feel good. I feel good because I feel good.
Yeah.
When we remember to breathe, we're on our way.
Amen.
Breaking that upper limit. We're on our way to success. So I want you, let's do that for a moment. Our daily affirmation. That's here. Our daily affirmation. Let us join this together and say this every day this week. I expand in abundance, success, and love.